Raining, falling down hard, I know that we are fading. Want something more, if you would just stay here for a while. Just look in my eyes, there's more to us than we can show. And I think you know. Raining, falling down hard, I know that we are fading. Want something more, if you would just stay here for a while. Just look in my eyes, there's more to us than we can show. And I think you know. And I think you know. And I think you know. And I think you know.
Lying underneath the stars, sharing all our secret stories, still we don't know where we are. Slowly showing all our scars. I've been waiting for someone to come and open up my heart. I know it's real this time, can see it in your eyes. It makes me wonder how I can make this last. So I want you to know, promise I won't let go. Tell me you'll be here when the night is over. No one else can sweep me off my feet, only you can. Only you can do that, I confess. Don't wanna fall asleep. Only you can. Only you can do that to me. Up on my skin, with our minds all out of focus, but our hearts beating in sync. So close no one's ever been, but ever since I met you I don't worry about a thing. I know it's real this time, can see it in your eyes. It makes me wonder how I can make this last. Only you can do that, I confess. Don't wanna fall asleep. Only you can do that to me.
All right, guys, welcome to, well, first of all, happy Tuesday. Happy new week. Hope you've had a good start to the week so far. Let me know if you're here in the live room. And also let me know if you're looking at anything in the markets yourself, if you've got anything on the radar, any setups, anything you're watching, you got your eyes on. Maybe you're practicing, maybe you're demo trading, maybe you're just analysing what's going on and making some predictions. Let me know. Just empty your thoughts of the markets into the chat here so we can start some good conversations. And I'm going to get stuck into the markets in just a moment. Before I do that, if you're new to this room, this is a live trading room. You'll just come in and see me go through 8 pairs in this portfolio: Aussie CAD, Aussie dollar, pound dollar, euro dollar, pound Aussie, pound yen, dollar yen, and New Zealand dollar. And we will go through them in that order. And the beauty of this room is you just get to see the consistency and the discipline of the monotony of trading. And, by being here with people just like you is probably one of the biggest takeaways, because it's not about trying to find the golden goose. It's about being able to consistently trade when you're all alone. And as you know, it's a pretty lonely game. So, it's a good place to be. Morning from Long Island. Mohammed says, I'm scalping Bitcoin dollar. Oh, brave. Very brave. You must have a lot of money. We're going to get stuck in just a moment. If you've got any questions about the room, let me know. If you're going to be posting in ideas, just post in 4 pieces of information, okay? The market you're looking at, the time frame you're looking at, the setup that you're looking at. In other words, is it a flag? Is it a bat pattern? Is it a double top? Is it an Elliott wave? Whatever it might be. And then the impulse, the impulse move, the start of the move, so that we can quickly go to the charts without going back and forward with loads and loads of questions. We're going to get stuck in just a moment. I've left some of the drawings up on here from last week. So got some of the chat up here as well. Euro CAD today, depends if it gets past R2. Cool. Good stuff. Good morning, Chris. All the tier 1 members, good morning. Hope you're well. We've got Paul Smith. Aussie CAD BAT 9201 on the 4 hour, says Paul. Stephen Fitzsimmons is in the house. Chris Elmore, Eric Koeman, all the usual suspects. David Mackey's here. Stephen Woodford, Duncan Gardner, Ryan, Paul, Chris and Chris, Garrett. Just waiting for Prasant. He'll be here any minute, I'm sure. Push. Good morning. All right, we'll take a look at the Aussie CAD first. I do want to just share quickly some of the things that were playing out yesterday, or when I did my pre-market analysis. Thought we might get a bit of a bounce off of this previous resistance zone. We've gone right back into structure here. Now, quite rightly, as Paul just said, if you're a advanced pattern trader, ratio pattern trader, or Fibonacci pattern trader, whatever you call it, XABCD pattern trader, you can use your tool or you can use your fib ratios to draw on this bat pattern. So the back pattern completed down around 92.30. We've continued down a little bit, but it looks like market's holding. If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 bearish candles in a row, and then we see this hold, which looks good. It looks like we're likely to get a push up. And if you haven't taken this and you're allowed to trade these patterns, that is an absolute textbook back pattern for the 4 hour on the Aussie CAD. I'm actually in this on my other account, so this got triggered in this morning. So good luck with that if you're in it. Short Apple says 25.25 Maybach. You're short Apple? Or you're asking me if you should short Apple? Morning from India. So, Paul, that's a nice one. So good luck with that. If you're not looking at that, let's just do some top-down analysis to see what else is on the radar on this pair. Before I start really drilling down into the pairs, though, let's just quickly flick through some of the drawings from last week. This was expected to bounce off of this level. We didn't. We rolled over. Pound dollar, looking for a pullback into this zone for a continuation. Didn't quite get up to that zone before running away without us. There was a bullish flag that played out on the euro dollar. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that was a beauty there. Bullish flag broke to the upside, hit the level of structure we identified, and then rolled over, which was exactly what we predicted. So beautiful trade there. Losing pattern trade here, but we did bounce off of the structure level. If those of you guys looking for the structure trade, beautiful rally off of that previous structure support level there on the pound Aussie. I caught this trade. Beautiful level. 77.76. Great level of structure. Note it down for this market. Add it to your discretionary list. And, look at it. Right? Remember this. If this level's ever tested again, get your crosshair out and get your finger on the trigger. Make your moves on the pound yen. We'll take a look at that. Dollar yen just does its own thing, doesn't it? We'll come to that in a moment. And New Zealand dollar, yeah, New Zealand dollar's just being New Zealand dollar. So let's just take a look at the Aussie CAD. Let's go out to the daily, and we're going to start there. And we're just going to take a macro look at what's happening here. A bird's eye view of what the overall situation is on this market. So those of you familiar with reading trends and reading cycles of the market, what would you say this is? Lewis says that's the insight for the pound Aussie. Yeah, the pound Aussies are nice. It's been behaving very nicely if you're a structure-based trader. Right, so look, here's what's going on with the Aussie CAD. Okay, let me just bring on my trend line. You can see that we've been bearish. Okay, so we've had this kind of bearish trend. Then we put in a new low, and then we violated the retracement. So the exponential moving averages started to fan out, cross over and fan in the opposite way. And this could be a reversal of a long-term trend. But at the moment, it's not, because if we held this level of resistance and it became support, there may have been a stronger argument that we should see a continuation bullish sooner rather than later. But actually, we just blasted through. And the way that we've blasted through this level, you can see, what do I always talk about? The more times a level is tested, usually if the bears or the bulls want a break below or above a certain level, they will push the market at least two daily candles in that direction to ensure a close on the daily time frame. And that's what's happened. We've had this big bearish momentum, 1, 2, close right down. So the bears are ensuring that we close lower. The second candle's a very bearish candle. Okay, this is the ultimate bearish candle. We open, we close. We close at the low of the session, at the low of the day, and then we open up just in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so now we've broken through that level. We're still in this rotation zone. So I don't feel confident buying this, and I certainly don't feel confident shorting it as a trend or a directional setup. Make sense? So all I'll be looking at here is some form of consolidation setup, or maybe a structure-based setup, but I don't trade too many of those on Aussie CAD. So I won't be... Whoops, I've got this thing on. Come on, TradingView, sort this out. I won't be looking to get long to hold. And also, look at what's happened up here. If we just look at what's happened up here, well, that's not very useful, is it? Here we go. If we look at what's happened up here, this is a hold, right? That is protection of that level. So I certainly don't want to buy it, and I certainly don't want to sell it longer term. I don't want to get into any directional move. So what I want to do instead is look for consolidation setups. Okay, so I just go down to the 4 hour for my first trading time frame, and I look for consolidation setups. It's great to have some consolidation strategies in your toolbox because the Forex market is in some form of consolidation about around 75–80% of the time. So we know that one of the prolific patterns that form inside of consolidation, particularly on the Aussie CAD, is a cipher pattern on the 60. That is if you're going to trade advanced patterns, do a load of testing on the cipher pattern on the 60-minute time frame on the Aussie CAD. It's one of my best combinations of advanced patterns and markets to trade. Some of our traders have found a 76% strike rate on that. I found about a 68 to 71 at best. So it's a great setup. But what we know is these patterns form in consolidation. So if we look at if we start bringing these on, X, A, B, C, D, you've got a bat pattern. And that's, no surprise that we've got our bat pattern completion there down at 92.30. So there's our setup. This is the trade that I'm in. I got triggered into this trade this morning, and it's just pushing just past break even at the moment. I've had to trail my targets down. So you have to trail your targets down, obviously, from A to price action. But your current best case scenario target's at 9300. I'd get a couple of pips below that just to ensure the fill. So 92.98 for target ones. And then if you're trading target twos, up at 93.60 at the moment anyway. So nice setup, right? We go into consolidation, we identify consolidation, we predict further consolidation until price action shows us otherwise, either a full reversal, break and close above that major high, or a continuation down. Until then, we look for consolidation. Decide how to get involved. What are our setups in our toolbox that we're allowed to trade in that consolidation? Well, if you trade back patterns, pull that one out, eye it up, get your orders on, and execute your trade. IPDE, identify, predict, decide, execute. And you approach the market that way every day with a tested and verified system that you can trade consistently. You're going to be consistently profitable as long as it has, as long as your trading plan produces a positive expectancy. All right. Mohammed says, guess we are going to have a pullback and then a 38 level bearish move. But I think a bigger picture, we're going to have a bullish breakout and aggressive drawdown. Yeah, I see that the thing with trading is you don't want to be leaving anything to guessing. All right. So any trade that I involve myself with, I know the exact probability of how that's going to play out based on historical data. And I don't know what the probability is of any of this forming, but what I do know is if we push up and then we push down to a 50% retracement and then we push up to a 382 or more from A to B, and then we push down to an 886 retracement from X to A, I know the exact probability that we're likely to push up to a 382. And that's the difference between traders who are just guessing and thinking they know what the market's doing, and traders who have a plan that they stick to based on probability, that is based on testing, and have the mental ability to just sit there and trade through losses and trade through wins without the emotions fluctuating. Do you consider Elliott waves at your preparation? No, I don't trade at Elliott waves. I don't use Elliott waves at all. Not saying they're not good. Great, they're just another strategy. You know, they are just another strategy. Don't get too fixated on strategies. You're not going to learn a strategy and be profitable trading it as per the rules you've been taught. I've never known anyone to do that. You have to take a strategy that's been known to have an edge and then create your own rules and make it yours, because you won't be able to trade it the same as someone else. That's one of the biggest discoveries. It's one of my biggest discoveries in trading. After interviewing lots and working with lots of very successful traders, one thing I've realized. When is the next episode on funding out? Today. So keep here. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah, today. Today or tomorrow. It might be tomorrow, actually. It's with Mike Bellafiore and the head of recruitment at SMB Capital. Rain says, treat the investment product like your girlfriend. Each have different characteristics. You have to understand them, know their temper, and you know how to manage it. Yeah. What does Steve Burns, he had a great quote. I think it is, never argue with never argue with the markets, your wife, or a fool. How can we find valid strategies and personalize them? So this is the thing, right? There's a lot of strategies out there being taught, and you can pick one of those, right? The biggest problem with those is you don't know that what you're being taught has worked for anyone, okay, unless you're seeing them trade it live and you see the results live, which is why, you know, having the over-shoulder approach to a trader is great. Or you just take a strategy and you start testing it. Kimani says, thanks for the funding episode with City Traders Imperium. I think that's a proper prop firm, giving you 12 months to hit 7%, pretty realistic. Yeah, 12 months for 7% is a much better approach than 10% in 21 trading days. Um, 10% in 21 trading days is luck. There's no one that can argue different. I've never met anyone who could argue that give me a case for that argument, or the opposing. What are the rules for the cipher pattern? Actually, we're going to be teaching strategies at our event on the 11th of April. So if you are interested in learning from kind of start to finish of the basics, price action, reading price, building discretion, building a strategy, testing a strategy, demo trading a strategy, making sure it works, journaling, optimizing, building discretion, money management, risk management, fundamentals, all of that in a 2-week event. On the 11th of April, Tier 1 Trading are hosting that event. And you just need to stay tuned or go to Tier 1 Trading, or follow me and Akil on social media, and we'll be posting out in the next couple of days the plans for that. in the next week, sorry. Helping me be a better trader. Excellent. What's the size of the lot you trade with? It differs on every trade depending on how many other trades I'm in, or what market it is, or what what instrument it is, or how it will affect my total overall portfolio management if I'm in other setups. So it varies. And my money management spreadsheet tells me when to increase my position size or decrease my position size. Again, that's the result of having a solid money management strategy, which, as I said before, I know traders who trade very well but lose money because of a poor money management strategy. And I know traders who are just average, who are very profitable as a result of a very good money management strategy. So the money management, people think money management and risk management is the same thing. It's not. And most trading educators that I've seen only ever talk about risk management. They never talk about money management. And if you're trading money management, if you're working on money management, that's the secret. That's the secret to making the best out of your trading and really accelerating returns. And no one talks about it. Tier 1, we have a whole module on it. Do you have a digital journal or a notebook for journaling? Sometimes I scribble down on notes if I'm really glued to the screen and I haven't got my spreadsheet open. But I use Google Sheets, and Google Sheets is linked to an app called Notion, so Notion's like a dashboard for my whole life. I run everything through Notion. I got a dashboard set up where I can access everything: my business, my journaling on my trading, my financials, all of my wealth tools. Okay, so Aussie CAD now, if you're in the back pattern, great. If not, then we're in the middle of nowhere. Okay, this isn't a setup that I would personally be writing home about. We're not at any major levels of structure just yet. 9200, a little bit lower, but yeah, nothing screaming here. And we've got this kind of dribbling effect on the hourly, which isn't really exciting either. So not too much here for me other than the back pattern, which I'm in. So let's move on to the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, I can trade a lot more strategies. I can trade breakouts. I can trade flag patterns, ascending channels, descending channels. So if we're in a similar situation here in consolidation, there's a lot more opportunity for me. I can trade a lot more setups. And that's purely because I've tested more strategies on this pair than I have on the Aussie CAD and found them to be profitable. So my breakout setups and my flags and my ascending channel setups typically are on the dollar yen, New Zealand dollar, Aussie dollar and euro dollar, just those four pairs. I do trade some ascending channels on pound yen 60, depending on how they form. And again, I've got differentiating rules as to when and how I can trade those setups. Whenever you see me trading, it's not a result of me just thinking that looks like a good idea. I'm literally, morning Michael, good to see you here. I'm following a board game set of instructions where there's no argument. You know, you do this, then you do that. And that's kind of where you want to get your trading to. You want to be able to get to that level in your trading where you're that consistent. Let's just bring on some more of this chat. I love being a scalper. Can you give some advice on what it takes to be a great scalper? If you love being a scalper, look, here's my honest opinion. If you love being a scalper, it means that you want lots of opportunity. You want to be involved in the market. I would make sure that you don't have this idea that the longer you spend taking trades, the more money you're going to make, because that isn't true. You can develop, you saw the oil trade we did, it took us 7 minutes, we generated $3,000. And that was one of 3 trades. And there's no time for money correlation. Okay. So if you're obsessed with being active, then just understand that actually, if you're doing it for more money, then that's incorrect. You won't make more money by taking more trades. In fact, if you're scalping, and even if you're 50-50 trader, you'll lose money because of the costs of getting in and out. So you're paying the broker, you know, and even if you're breaking even, like even if you're 50-50 on the trades, you'll be losing money. So you've really got to perform. The other reason you could like it is just because you like gambling, and you just like, you know, it's like just playing the fruit machine. If you genuinely love scalping, I'd get really clear about why you love scalping. All right, because based on the question that you're asking me, you're saying, what does it take to be a great scalper? I would assume from that comment that you are potentially breaking even at best, maybe losing money. And let me know if I'm wrong or right. You're best to kind of lay your cards on the table if you're asking questions. Scalping requires you to have the highest skill and the highest focus in trading out of all trading. And it's very, very difficult to obtain that skill. I've lost money in scalping. Okay. So why do you feel in control? So really get clear about that. Like the feelings and the emotions that you're feeling when you're trading is telling a big story. It's telling a really good story about your future and your motivation. Okay. So if you feel more in control when you're scalping, what do you mean control? Is it because you're looking at the charts constantly? It doesn't matter how much you look at the charts. Ultimately, the question you have to ask yourself is, are you guessing when to get in and get out? Or are you basing every single trade, including entries, including targets, including stop loss positioning, based on a system that you know performs or has performed in the past? Or are you just watching price and trying to guess? Oh, it looks like it's going to go up, I'm going to get in. It looks like it's going to go down, I'm going to get in. Let me know. Present says, can you look at the 1 minute chart throughout the day? Oh man, if you have to trade on the 1 minute chart, you're going to be glued to your, you're going to be glued to your charts all day. Especially on, like, people have been tempted to get in on oil. Right, we were trading the 5 minute time frame on oil, but the 1 minute chart, I mean, look at all the opportunity here. Yes, there's lots of opportunity, but if you don't have a plan and you're just guessing, you're probably going to be break even at best, if not losing money, because of the spreads that you're paying the broker to get in and out of every trade. And do you want to be spending your whole day managing? This is what I don't get. A lot of people that go into trading, a lot of retail traders that go into trading, they want to do it for more time and freedom. Then they start trading these lower time frames and spend more time at their charts than ever. More time on their computer than they've ever spent. And now they've got no time because they fear that they're going to miss something. They can't go out for lunch. They can't go out for walks. They can't go out for dinner. They can't, do anything else. They can't go and talk to the family. They can't switch off. And when they do, they're, aggressive and snappy and short because their mind's in this, or they've just hit a losing trade and they're thinking about how they're going to make the money back and all this kind of stuff. If you can, if that's you, let me know. If you can resonate with that, let me know. But that's what I find a lot of people go through. And why would you want that? Why would you want that when you can earn just as much money building a system where you can manage it, you don't have to check it as much? It's really important to get that right, because if you are trying to do something against your personality, ultimately you are not going to be able to do it consistently. It's not sustainable. If you're trying to do something against the fiber of your being, you are not going to be able to consistently and sustainably generate profits. So don't. Like, this is always my advice. Don't do it. I know it seems really obvious, but you'd be surprised how many, well, you probably won't be surprised at how many people do it, but they do. So, there you go. Anyway, what questions we got coming in here? I prefer range bar over lower. Yeah, I tell you what, if you're going to use lower time frame stuff or you want to day trade a little bit, check out the range bars. The 5 range bar or the 8 range is a great. You can develop some great systems using those, and it's cleaner, it's clearer, it gives you more of an indication of price, volume. So it's you can develop some really great systems. Any advice on the most effective and efficient way of backtesting for intraday/swing trader? Advice on the most efficient and effective way. Okay, that's a good question. And if anyone in Tier 1 wants to contribute to the answer of that question and share their advice on that, let us know. But for me, here's a couple of things that I would say. One, I do everything manually, so I do all of my testing manually. I don't use automated systems. And in fact, Michael, I think you was at the London Trader Show where I spoke on stage, and one of the things I said, even though I didn't get to finish my talk because of time restraints, I said, if you can't be bothered to do it manually, don't do it automatically, because it's like adding fuel to the fire. So I do everything manually. All of my testing I do manually. These days, I set aside about 20 to 40 hours in December over the Christmas break to do any optimization or testing of new strategies. Whereas I used to do it every weekend, every night, and all the rest of it. I've now got a nice portfolio, a nice trading system, nice trading plan, and a good playbook. But now every December I do dedicate 20 to 40 hours over the Christmas break of testing new ideas or refining a system. Over the last few years, it's just been dollar yen with my love-hate relationship with dollar yen. But that's what I do, and I do it all manually. Now, efficiency, basically, you don't want to have to keep redoing it. So in terms of efficiency, try to think of as many things that you want to capture during the one round of analysis as you can. So, you definitely want the date and the time of entry. You definitely want, so you can quickly flick back through to it. One of the things I like to do is mark up the charts. For instance, if you're trading advanced patterns, for instance, let's just say that you go out, one of the things that I did on testing advanced patterns is people say to me, do you take bullish setups in a bearish trend, overall bearish trend, or do you take bearish setups in an overall bullish trend? What I did when I was testing advanced patterns, what I would do is I would say, right, okay, here's the pattern. In fact, let me use I use the triangle tool. I don't use this, and I use NinjaTrader for a lot of my testing, but I use the triangle tool, okay? And I would say, right, okay, this one set up here, and it was a, whatever it was, a Gartley pattern, okay? And if target 1 was hit, I would leave half of it green. If if we got stopped out at break even, I would then color the second half of the pattern red, like that. Okay, so this means target 1 was hit, target 2 wasn't. If I was, if I took, let's just say, a cipher and, both targets were hit, let's just say this was a cipher and both targets were hit, I would color it all green. Make sense? And if no targets were hit, I would color the whole pattern red. Very, very simple. Okay, so just for demonstration purposes and an example here, if 2 targets were hit, I would color it all green. If 1 target was hit, I'd color it green and red. And if no targets were hit, I'd color it red. Then what I would do at the end of this, I would go out to the higher time frame, in this case the daily, and then I would just scroll back and count how many were in a bearish trend and how many were in a bullish trend, and did it really matter? Did it affect the results? And it's a quick, easy way to just see all of these kind of little green and red patterns all over the place. So mark up your charts. That's what I'm saying. Have a workspace just for backtesting. Date and time of entry, strategy, where your entry points, stops was, targets were, where the trade got filled, where it got, where you got out. One thing you can't really help is as you start that first round of testing, you will have other ideas. As you're a developing trader, you'll say, oh, what if I test this? What if this happens? What if I just pay attention to this? And you might do about 3 rounds of testing on one strategy. And I would say stick to one pair until you've ironed all that out. And then once you're happy and you've captured everything, then roll it out across all the different markets that you plan on testing. Don't go off and then have to retest all of the markets when you have this idea. So that's efficient as well. And what's really effective, okay, so that's efficiency. Effectiveness, I would say if you can take into account spread, great. It's hard because, you don't know what the spread was at the time, which is why I always go with fixed spread broker. Makes the results more accurate. But that would be very effective if you can get close to the actual spread. Duncan's shared some advice from Tier 1. This is the type of guys we've got in Tier 1, right? Regarding backtesting, set up a clear and structured data sheet that will make data entry easy. In that, map out the alternate stops and targets. This will give you a wide range of results to compare. I do not, however, test multiple strategies. I only backtest one pattern/strategy at a time. After that, it's time in front of the charts. Glass of vino and my backtesting chill out music. There you go. So basically what I just said, minus the wine. I agree with your board game instruction approach, but it doesn't sit with funding challenges where you have to hit a certain percent a month. Exactly. That's why they're flawed. If you agree with it, but it doesn't sit with their approach, what do you think that means? It means it doesn't suit their agenda. If you agree with it, you know it's the best approach as a trader. So why, if I wanted you to sit on my prop firm, why would I tell you why would I incentivize you in a way that's not going to be beneficial to my prop firm? You've got to ask these questions. People are so blinded by what's going on with these challenges. Like, be careful. I'm starting to be known as the person that hates these challenges. I don't hate the challenges. I think the businesses are great. What a great model. They're making loads of money. And if people are stupid enough to go, oh yeah, I can, that's a good approach to trading. They're really looking out for my best intention, then, more for you, and props to them for really drilling down on their ideal avatar client and going after people who just have no idea. There you go. If you're going to fall for it. But I will never dig them out or never say, bad word them, because all I'll do is just talk about them. And if people can't go, oh yeah, that makes total sense, then maybe you'll find out by going after one of them. But hopefully you just listen and let common sense set in. I've been beating the same drum for about 6 or 7 years in this industry. And the only reason I got into trading education was after I spent 3 years. I'd become very good at trading, and I'd learnt a lot. I'd messed up a lot. I'd learnt what didn't work, and I saw all the crap out there. And then I realized actually what it takes to become consistently profitable. So I just wanted to start telling people the truth. And if you go back to the first video I ever posted on YouTube, it'll be the same message. So what I did since then is beat the same drum. And you can listen or not listen. But having said that, after 6 or 7 years of beating the same drum, it's time to really up the tempo a bit. You know, I feel like I could do a little bit more to kind of expose, just by holding them up to the light, asking people questions, and then letting everyone see for themselves. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to ramp up the tempo on this. Hybrid says, new here. What is main outlook and strategy for your channel? What channel? The YouTube channel? Would you advise against separate stops, like on the FTB, use ATR for the first 4 or 8 hours and then fixed pip? I use an ATR based stop. Would you advise against separate stops? Oh, for the first 4 hours, use ATR and then fixed pip after? Yeah, that's great. But what I find about that's great if you want to kind of set and forget. Maybe you can code an ATM strategy to manage that for you. But in reality, ATR is always going to be best, in my opinion, because it's a dynamic way of monitoring volume and giving the trade enough breathing room when it's moving, so you don't get stopped out unnecessarily, but also it allows you to tighten up the stop when the market's running out of steam, and then it will get you out as quickly as possible once you know it's likely to turn. So ATR is very, very good for stop trading, in my opinion. Backtesting is like practicing a list of songs until you know them inside out and you're ready to play them live and loud. Exactly that. Exactly that. It's like, these DJs, right? People think that DJs just get up on stage and start mixing tracks. They have sat and prepped every loop, every cue, every drop, every mix, every order of song. It's a performance. And they do it, and it looks like they're doing it, like they're just doing it off the cuff and having a great time. But they know it. They're playing it like an instrument. And the reason they've done that is because they've prepped. They've set it up. The performance is kind of the icing on the cake. The performance isn't the hard bit. All the hard work's done before you've placed the trade. If you're a trader, the moment you place the trade, all of the hard work should have been prior to that. Once you place the trade, that's it. Your job's done. You've placed the trade. You've done your job. That's it. Jake says, analyze the chart. Yep. I will do. I'm not in a rush though. Are these the only pairs that you trade? No. These are the only pairs that we go through in this live room. Aussie CAD, Aussie dollar, pound dollar, euro dollar, pound, Aussie pound, yen, dollar, yen, and New Zealand dollar. If we went through, I trade 27 pairs. If we went through all of them, it would take forever. These are my intraday portfolio or pairs. So, yeah. What do you mainly focus on your YouTube channel? Wealth building, financial empowerment, wealth creation. Investing, trading and speculating, income growth, and freedom. So if you want to be free and you want to build wealth and you want to be financially empowered, truly and sustainably, then stick around on the channel, subscribe to the channel. What consists in a portfolio? I prefer my target 1 to be part of my trading plan. I use target 2 and target 3 when I lock in profits, risk-free trading. Great. Okay, let's get a move on then, because people are. Do you know of any good web APIs? Oh, hundreds. It depends what you're looking to do. If it's to do with trading, TradingView offer lots of great APIs. Okay, so quickly then, because people are getting impatient with the charts. Again, if you're impatient at the charts, you've got not enough time to be doing this anyway. Go and do something that's, you can focus your attention on. You're going to earn much more money doing that, I promise you, than trying to rush and quickly, I've got to do my trading, quick. You're not going to earn money doing it. Go and spend your time on the thing that you need to do and that you can focus more attention on. Because look, here's the truth. If trading is important to you, you'll focus on this more. You'll find time and you'll block out time. I see you have an EMA indicator on your chart. Do you teach that as part of 2-1? Yeah. I use these 3 exponential moving averages for my daily time frame swing trades for the trend and the reversal setups, and also my daily chore. I use one of these as well. So yeah, teach all that inside Tier 1. But remember, guys, all the strategies you're going to learn, even if you learn them from Tier 1, you need to make them your own. Trust me. There's no, you're not going to buy a strategy off the shelf and trade it into the sunset. You're not. Doesn't work. Even Mike Bellafiore from S&B will tell you that. It doesn't work like that. You get a trading strategy that's worked, and then you make it your own. Everyone's got different eyes. The whole reason that the market moves is because everyone has a different idea of what structure is, which means every participant has a different eye on the market. How should we create our journal so we can take the most information from it when we review it? Good question. I recently spoke about this at the London Trader Show on the front stage there. I will do a video on that on my YouTube channel. Okay? I will do that video and I'll post it on my YouTube channel next week. I promise. Wow, we've been going, it's 8:20 already. Okay, look, so we hit this resistance zone at 7,400. Again, consolidation in the market. This isn't a setup that I would look for trend trades or anything like that. Very similar correlation to the Aussie CAD, except the Aussie CAD was in the, we blasted past that major level of resistance and then pushed back down. This is a similar setup, so exactly the same bat pattern setup, except this one hasn't completed. So those of you who do trade bat patterns and haven't been able to take advantage of the setup on the Aussie CAD, if you trade them on Aussie dollar, then at 71.30 something, can't see the 71.38 is the completion point for this bat pattern. It's a bullish bat pattern, and other than that, I don't have any notes here for any lower time frame than that. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this, and I think we will take a quick coffee refill. The chat is blowing up this morning, so it's taking us a long time to get through some of these pairs, which is, I don't mind. It's great. It's great having this much engagement in the chat. The last thing I want to do is go live and then no one's getting value from these streams, and I'll just stick to the Tier 1 platform where our traders meet every day. The strategies Tier 1 offer are not the gold in that program. Learning how to be consistent and profitable a trader is what the gold is inside the program. Yeah. Which most people will not teach you. Most people don't. So most people focus on the strategy. Most trading educators say, I'll give you my strategy cheat sheets, right? You can give all the strategies in the world, but if you don't teach the mindset, the money management, specifically the money management, risk management, how to build a trading business, a business program for your trading, if you don't teach all that stuff, you're probably not going to be profitable. In fact, there's a high chance you won't be. So, and no one focuses on that, weirdly. Why? Because their intention isn't really to get you to be profitable. Their intention is to sell a course. That's why it's taken Tier 1 such a long time to grow. But we've built a phenomenal community, a tight community of people who are all very, very happy with their development. So, we've created people, friends for life. People have built friends for life out of the community there. And they're all still around. We could have just focused on Facebook ads and selling loads of courses, but that doesn't work. That doesn't get the result. And if we could just focus on getting results for people, then they will tell someone, they will tell someone, they will tell someone. Whereas if you're just selling a product where no one's getting results, you're running out of people. It's what you call an entropic business model, where it's decaying behind you. You haven't got infinite amount of of clients, because no one's ever going to recommend you. No one's ever going to buy another product from you. Whereas if you focus on actually getting a result for someone that someone wants, they're going to be happy. They'll buy everything you ever sell again. They'll tell other people about you, because people buy what they want. They want the result, right? So the business model we took takes a long time to grow, but that's the beauty of not needing money when you launch a business, right? That's the whole reason I teach what I teach. Very happy to have stumbled on this channel. You talk the trust, not just trying to pump a product. I don't pump a product at all. I'll tell you to take a test or go and do something to help you or whatever, but I won't be pumping any products. That's up to you to do. I would rather you worked with me and the guys at Tier 1 based on a decision that you feel comfortable about and that you feel good about, than putting one foot in the water and going, oh, not too sure. And even when you do, that's why we developed the 14-day trial. Risk-free. You come in, you get access to it all, and if you don't like it, then you haven't lost any money. You don't give up $2,500 to come and sit with us at the weekend, and we need your credit card details before you come in. Come on. You're not going to learn how to trade in 2.5 days. It took me 3 years. Get a grip. All right. Anyway. Let's take a look at the pound dollar then. Should we have a coffee break, or should we have a coffee break? So I'm living in Iran, cannot pay for the $1 trial, for the 2-week trial because of political stuff. That event we're doing on the 11th of April, people will have the opportunity to come in without the $1. The reason we charge the $1 is for a couple of reasons. One, so that we filter out any kind of time wasters, because you'll be, the trolls. One of the reasons we've got such a strong community is because we filter out the riffraff. And you'll be surprised at how many trolls don't register for something when they have to put their credit card details in, even if it's for $1, because we know they are, right? Second of all, if you can't keep taking the trial, because chances are you've only got a couple of credit cards, so it's to protect the community that way as well. But we don't auto bill you. There's no contract. We don't charge a card ever again. In fact, you have to apply to become a member after the trial. We kick you out. And then it's like, right, you make up your mind. You've had 2 weeks. Is it for you or not? And if it's for you, in that 2 weeks, you'll see that you've got everything you need to become a consistently successful trader. And you go all in and you make it work. Okay? If not, you've lost $1. That's it. That's the only downside. You've lost $1. But you don't lose $1, because what you're going to learn in 2 weeks is a net gain profit for you. You will make more than $1 in that 2 weeks just from what you learn. If you understand what I'm talking about, you'll know. Can you give us a link to Tier 1? Sure. There you go. Best dollar I've ever spent. Yeah, John, you know, right? It's so much more than just a trading, you know. The development in the guys that have gone through tier 1 is just, it's just incredible. All right, I think it is time for a coffee refill. So what I'll do is I will, we've got some potential juice on this setup here. I'm going to be looking at a trend continuation setup on the pound dollar. Okay, so we need some coffee for this. So what I'm going to do is take a quick 13-minute coffee break. Keep talking in the chat. Ask any questions you want to see in the chat, and we'll take a quick 13-minute coffee break. We'll come back at 8:39, okay? And I'll see you back here in 13 minutes. So let's go.
Keep running.
want to be alone. To be alone, it makes me feel like I'm dying. Hey, I don't want to feel alone. I want some company, and girl, you have it. From the bottom of my heart, girl, you make me feel alive. I'm crazy in love with you. Hey, from the first day we met, girl, I thought it was a dream. It's super magical, super magical. Super magical. These sounds are logical. I wanna live in the world full of you, girl. Yeah, I want to be a part of a kiss. This would mean a lot to me. I can never imagine. From the bottom of my heart, girl, you make me feel alive. I'm crazy in love with you. Yeah. From the first day we met, girl, I thought it was a dream. It's super magical, super magical. Super magical. Super magical. Super magical.
Counting all the freckles on your skin. When I'm with you, nothing to lose. I can only win. Sunlight shining on your windowsill. I thought I'm better on my own, but you gave me a place to call home. You are the reason why I. You are the reason why I can love again, love again, love again, love again. Diving into your green blue eyes, nothing more to think about. My life's a paradise, feeling like I'm flying. Time's passing by. I thought I'm better on my own, but you give me a place to call. You are the reason why I. You are the reason why I can love again, love again, love We'll wake up with sand in our hair, and everything that slipped out will still be there. If I keep
'Cause you're my last people.
Like a desert in the middle of the ocean, you're a feather. You try to hold on to devotion and you treasure every square inch of emotion, but you lose your grip. Yeah. So tell me now, are they tears or are they raindrops on your face? 'Cause it looks like there's a river full of waves, and I'm sure you know exactly what they say. Thunder only happens when it rains. Thunder only happens when it rains. Like a desert in the middle of the ocean, you're a feather. You try to hold on to devotion and you treasure every square inch of emotion, but you lose your grip. Yeah. Tell me now, are they tears or are they raindrops on your face? 'Cause it looks like there's a river full of waves, and I'm sure you know exactly what they say. Thunder only happens when it rains. Thunder only happens when it rains.
Thought we had it all, high speed into the night, driving round.
All right, guys, welcome back. Second session of today's live room. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Got you guys are all chatting away in the break, so that's good. Yeah, if you want to check out Tier 1, you can just go to tier1trading.com/free and you can join us. What I would say, Mohammed, is in the, or whoever asked about the kind of legalities of making payments, in the event that we're doing on the 11th of April, we're going to waive the dollar fee. So people just come in for literally nothing. So you might want to wait for that. So let me know if you guys are looking at any setups or got any questions that you need us to answer. And I think we cut out on Instagram, so we're just streaming on YouTube at the moment. I feel like you could learn for free. Should maybe go for a minute when you're on the edge of profitability. You can. What I've found, I mean, I've spent a lot of money on personal development, and I also monitor and measure my results in every area that I've been developing in. And what I've found is, if you learn something on YouTube, and don't get me wrong, I've learned a lot on YouTube, it normally takes 4 to 6 times longer to learn on YouTube than it does to be over the shoulder with someone. So it's great if you've got enough time, but if it takes you 18 months to 2 years to learn how to trade with a coach, which it will, then it's probably going to take you 6 to 8 years on YouTube. So that's fine if you've got a 6 to 8 year plan to do that. It's amazing. You probably won't learn quicker than 6 to 8 years on YouTube. Purely because everyone's got a different opinion. So that's what I've found. But absolutely, if you piece together the information, you should be able to learn, from everything that's been put out there. Cool. Anyone else got any questions? No accountability. Yeah, well, that's no accountability is one of the biggest things. David says, I used to be a retest trader quite successfully. Then I got tired of missing moves, added like market orders and patterns, but I get impulsive directionally. Right, maybe I get in on a break. Breakout. Now I'm too impulsive, getting in too late. Yeah, see, this is the thing when you're developing. So if you're trading conflicting systems, like I always say, if you're, and that is a perfect example of building a system to suit your personality, right? One of the reasons I do see people get into conflicting trades like that is when they try to catch every move. So we often say, look, you either trade the trend or you trade counter trend. If you try and do both, you're probably going to break even at best, probably lose money because of the spreads. And the reason I say that is because, very simply, let's just bring on a trend tool here. If you're trading the trend, okay, you're trying to buy the bottom and sell the top, okay? And this is kind of a trend. And if you're looking to get in on the trend, your order isn't going to be down here. It's going to be somewhere here. Okay, so look, somewhere, your cluster of orders is going to be around here as you're analyzing the best place to get involved. It might even be on the way back up. So you wait for a confirmation and your orders are here somewhere, right? Make sense? So if you're looking to take a trade and get long, where you're looking to get out as a trend continuation trader is at a retest of the highs. So then you're looking to get out around here. But then there's the cluster of orders of where you're looking to short again. So you're forever between this level and this level. Okay, and by the time you've got in, you're getting out, and then you're getting back in again. And there's a very small window for profit taking. So it's very difficult to time the market to get in of a counter trend trade and then back into a trend trade and then vice versa and over again, because your orders aren't going to be at the top and the bottom. They're going to be right in here somewhere. Make sense? So if both orders are in that zone, it makes it very difficult for you to trade. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't, and I'll go over it again. Just asked a question, which broker? So for me, I mentioned that fixed spreads are going to be the most important thing, particularly when you're testing trades. I use a company called Trade Nation, who are one of the only trade brokers that offer a fixed spread, and they've got a great platform as well. I've just posted the link in the chat there. And what I would say is I did do a video on my YouTube channel. So if you type in Brokers Exposed, I did a whole YouTube video on empowering you into how to analyze different brokers. I even built a tool for you guys on how to kind of score their platform, their interactions, their communications, withdrawals, using their platform, ease of use, trading, closing down the account, what that whole experience is like. And I tested 6 different trading platforms and brokers. So go and check out that video. Spend an hour watching that video, and that will serve you well. They're working on becoming integrated with TradingView. Yes. Do they work in the USA? I believe so. They'll just put you out with their, I think it's their Bahamas branch, and you'll get managed by them. But they've got offices all over the world. Okay, so pound dollar. Let's go to the daily time frame quick. I feel like we haven't really done much talking on the markets, but look at this. This is a beauty, right? We broke through. Let me just move this out of the way a little bit. Broke through this level here, 3180. Major level of support. This is the one we was looking at for a trade setup. We blasted through that. Then look what happened. Pulled back up. Support became resistance. Just drawing our little arrow here for those of you guys who can't see it. The exponential moving averages start to fan out nicely, indicating a strengthening in the trend as we put in that next cycle to the downside, giving us a new low. So as we go down to our trading time frame, I'm in trend continuation mode on this, okay, and I can actually drill down to the 60 and look for a trade right now. Now, hopefully we don't push down and test these lows, because what's happened here is we've had a new low, and a new low. Okay, so the outside return is this previous high. Now what I want to do is trade this down to a retest of these lows, and then potentially trail stops down from that. And the way that I can do that is wait for a pullback into a kill zone. How do I measure the kill zone? Well, straight away I know where the high is. Okay, so I know where an ATR above that needs to go. So let's just say the ATR, what's this price here? 30.78. So let's just say the ATR goes here. And if my targets, I know where my targets are going to go at a retest of the lows. So now I just need a 1-to-1. So look, with this tool, you can just quickly go, right, where's a 1-to-1? Here's a 1-to-1 right here. And I know, look at that, it's good RAS, right? Drew that bang on that zone. I know that I've already done this analysis, so I knew the price anyway. But I know that anything above here is going to give me a 1-to-1 in the trade. And then you just want to look at where your how to get in. Okay, so how to get in. If we push up into this zone here, so now the zone is this, right? If we push up into this zone, I can just get a lower low, lower close candle, which means it would be a candle like this. So we actually had one, but it wasn't in the zone, right? This one here. A lower low and a lower close candle of the previous low. If that happened in this zone, I could enter the next bar market. I'd be in the trade. All right. We're not there yet. So how else can we get involved? Well, we just got to wait. We've got to wait for a push up into this zone. And there's a couple of ways that you could potentially get involved in this. And I'm going to draw this out in a bit more detail. The first way that I'm going to explain is the conventional trend continuation, which would be wait for market to push into here and then get a lower low, lower close candle. Okay. And then in which case your entries are likely to be, give you a more than a 1-to-1 reward to risk. You can go and watch the whole strategy of this, by the way. I put out a 5-part tutorial on how to trade this strategy, how to identify the setups, things to bear in mind, the of 4 different types of entry you can use, other discretionary notes, and then I gave you a way to test it and all that kind of stuff. So you can go and check that out. It's on my channel right now, and it's called Jason Graystone Trend Continuation Strategy or something like that. Just go and type that into YouTube and you'll find it. Watch part 1, and then there's 5 videos you can go and watch. Now, the second way that's really popping is those of you are familiar with a fib inversion setup, which is basically once we've started putting in this complex pullback, we haven't retested the lows. So this is just a complex pullback at the moment. And what you could see is if we bring on the fib inversion from this low to the recent high, the 1618 would be where you would look for that inversion setup. You'd be looking to short at the fib inversion. All right. And that is an aggressive entry where you place the targets at a 618 from the low and then a 2-to-1 reward to risk. So you basically half the target size and you have that as your stop loss. Very, very simple way of trading. If you're more of a combined technical scoring setup trader, so you're building scores, you might just use that fib inversion, but also add some other filters to build out a score. So look, we've got an equal measured move lining up as well. So that you could drill out the kill zone like this, right? So instead of this being the kill zone, you now start going, right, okay, well, we've got a 1618 and an equal measured move. What else can we do? Let's bring on a fib extension and go from the low to the high and back down. You can see we've got a 1414 lining up with that 1618. Brilliant, perfect confluence there. So we've got a nice cluster there. We could bring on a fib retracement tool, and you could go from the high to the low, and you might have some confluence there. Down in this, we've got an 886 up there, which indicates, you know, some of you trade off of the 886. This is getting a little bit messy, so I'm just going to delete that off. But the other way you might get involved is a Gartley pattern. So if you trade advanced patterns, X, A, B, as long as we don't retest the A leg, you've actually got a Gartley set up there as well. So this is a really nice zone, right? Instead of waiting for this zone, you just go, do you know what? I'm not going to wait and sit and watch the markets. I'm going to place an at market order. I'm actually going to set a limit order in here. Because if I set a limit order in here, that's the highest probability zone for a short. And I don't have to watch my charts. I can set and forget. Or you might be more aggressive with your targets. Or you might be more aggressive with your position size. Or you might be more aggressive with your, you know, your reward to risk ratio. So, you know, your reward to risk ratio might now do this. And all of a sudden you've got a 1.5 to 1. So great. So I'm keeping an eye on this because there's still, you know, I'm still keen to get involved anywhere up here. And it's either going to be a lower low, lower close candle or that aggression entry there. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and I'm going to come back to it. All right, make sense? Let's go. So that's one of the trades on my radar out of these 8 pairs. Similar situation for the euro. It's not as attractive. Not as attractive. I'll tell you why, because we've already bounced off of this. We bought this on earlier. Similar situation. We've got support become resistance. Put an alert. Yeah, great. You put an alert there. Perfect. And those of you who don't know how to do that, look, great way. That's a really good point, actually, Christian. You can, on this platform, literally just go, right, okay, look, if we push up into the start of this zone, I'm just going to add an alert here. Let's go. Let's get off of price. Add alert. Okay, and then you can have it pop up on the app. You can have it email you. You can have a webhook URL that does something else to something, you know, some other monitoring system. And then you can have a bell. And you can have it text your phone. And then you can put notes here, right? So you can just put, look, watch out for short using lower low, lower close or aggressive limit on the fib inversion / Gartley. Sorry for the spelling, but that you get the point, right? Continue anyway, and then that alert's there. So now if price pushes up, I'm going to get an alert on my phone, on my app, on my screen. I'll play a sound through my audio interface here, and I'll get an email and a text, and then I don't have to sit and watch this now. I put it on the watch list, and I can just forget about it. Cool. So let's go to the euro dollar then. We've already bounced off of this, right? We had the flag breakout, which played out beautifully last week. Beautiful flag breakout. Absolute textbook. I say textbook. Conventionally, you'd be trading the flagpole extension. I'd never trade the flagpole extension. I'm always looking at structure. Structure is always prioritized over any extension move. Okay, so if we're going to hit structure, I want to be out of that trade. So this is the structure point, and look, we just tip it, hit it like a wall, and then roll over again. And we roll over back in. There's a couple of pattern setups that some people took advantage of, one bullish, one bearish. And then we're just in a choppy mess in the middle of nowhere. So unlike the pound dollar, this is not as attractive other than any pattern setups. So this is very different story. Consolidation, pattern setups, Gartley setup, you know, similar situation with the Gartley, but other than that, you know, nothing really at market for me. No trend trades or anything like that, or structure trades. I do like the look of this Gartley. I think we're going to have a job to push beyond this level here, but I think we're going to see a rollover on this, so I don't think it's going to complete. Let's talk about pound Aussie. This is the beauty. The beauty. Let's go out to the daily. This was the trade setup that we took advantage of. Whoops. This was the trade setup we took advantage of. What's your most memorable trading experience? Most memorable moments in the market was the 15th of January 2015, when the unpegging of the Swiss franc. You know, I was actually on a trade floor when I went on that morning. It was about 9:30, and it just started going crazy. So I wasn't trading that, and obviously all the professional traders weren't trading that at all, but it was a memorable moment. I've had many memorable moments. The other one was the 3rd of April 2020, when I did my biggest trading day ever, about $133,000, which was about 126 grand pounds in one day, or 18. It was 18 hours, 6 trades overnight. And in the morning of April 2020, I'd hit 126 grand in pound sterling profit. And that was pretty memorable because for the first time in my trading journey since I've been professional, that was the first time where I've had to reassess my emotions and look at my plan. We had just gone into COVID lockdown and all the rest of it, so there was a little bit of uncertainty that crept in, but it was certainly a memorable moment. I did another 100k day on February the 5th, 2021 as well, and that was memorable for other reasons, mainly tequila. Let's get stuck into the... See that, mate? Yeah. Let's get stuck into the other markets then. The sun's just going out. The boy's just going out. Question: which fields should we spend our money on for improving our trading skills? Which fields? Normally it's psychology. The strategy is a tiny piece of it. You know, you've probably heard it's a bit cliche these days, but you hear trading is 80 or 90% psychology or mental and 10%, 20% strategy. That is so true. At the end of the day, it's you against everyone else. It's a win-lose business, and it's only you who cares if you're profitable or not. You have to face yourself every day. So when it's just down to you and there's no blaming of anything, you really have to be the most disciplined person ever. So it's one thing that I say, when it's like having a great body, right? A great physique. The thing with a great physique is like being a good trader, because there's no cheats, no hacks, no shortcuts. No one can give it to you. No one can just hand it to you on a plate. It is a result of continuous, consistent discipline and hard work. So what do you think it takes to work on your body every day and get in the gym every day? Severe mental strength. Having a big why, having a big a cause beyond you as to why you want to do it. Linking things like if I was to ask any of you guys in here, here's a question for all of you guys, right? If I was to ask your friends what you talk about most, or what you're known for, bringing up in conversation, or what you'd spend most of your disposable income on, what you're the most reliable in, what you never let anyone down in, what do people ring you for? What's the questions they ask? If I asked your friends what you always bring up in conversation, what would that be? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Bear with me. Let me know. Nothing? Golf. There you go. So Dan, tell me, you don't need any motivation to go golf, ever, right? And when you go golf, time flies quicker, right? And when you're at golf, you don't think about the time or, when's it going to be over? You come alive when you start talking about golf, right? So the key is this: when you're asking a question about what to work on, when I say have a cause, have a why, I'm talking about asking yourself the question, how will trading help me play more golf? And how will it help my golf? And that's it. And what you want to write down is 50 to 100 answers to that question. Because if you write 1 or 2, that's not creating a new belief. If you write 10, it's hard. If you write 20, it feels impossible. When you get to 30, 40, 50 answers, you're writing new neural pathways in your brain. You're literally creating new beliefs. That's how beliefs are created. By answering questions with subconscious information that you didn't even know was there, and you're writing it down on paper, so now it's real. Right? And then you can say, right, and then you figure out what your second highest priority is, which might be your family, it might be your business. And you say, well, how will trading help my golf? How will trading help my family? How will trading help and so on and so on and so on. And you answer every question 50 to 100 times. You will have a strong belief as to why you've got to make this work. It's a massively underestimated exercise, and most people won't do it. You should see my spreadsheets. I talk about taking care of family, create wealth to ensure family to be comfortable. Yeah, go beyond that. Keep going, keep going. Get really specific. How specifically will it help members of your family? And in what way? Mindset, health. Pound Aussie then. We saw a bounce off of this level for the second time. Let me just go straight down to the 60, because this is what we spoke a lot about last week. I don't really want to spend too long talking about this again. But this was the double bottom entry down here. Great entry. Targets hit like a wall. Previous structure. We saw a little retracement. Then we continued up, went into consolidation. There was a pattern set up in here, which I think failed. And then we pushed down to retest that level, and look at that. What a beauty. What a beauty. Now, is this tradable? You'd have to be much more aggressive to trade this, unless you got in on a double bottom or a lower time frame higher close, which I can't see. I don't think you got there. So maybe not. So it's kind of untradeable unless you trade the tweezer bottoms. Okay, these are considered tweezer bottoms. These are tweezer bottom candles, and it's confusing because people think that tweezer bottom candles are wicks. I define tweezer bottom candles as equal lows, equal highs. Okay, so these are tweezer bottoms. It's kind of a fake break. And if you saw that, then you could have got in at the close of that candle and then taken targets again at structure, which would have been around 78.34, and caught it again. Reloaded the gun, cocked the gun, and shot again for targets. And now, since then, why does that keep happening? Since then, we've just shot up. There's no stopping this thing. Bullish continuation setups. For you day traders on the pound Aussie, if you're brave enough, this is a bullish trend. You could potentially be looking to buy this up. We're down at previous structure resistance. We also had another opportunity here for an ascending channel. Look at this, perfect ascending channel, had the flagpole, and then we double topped out at the end of the channel and rolled over. Very, very similar to what we saw on the pound yen on down here somewhere. So in the opposite direction. Where have we pushed down to? Back into structure, got a higher close. You might even be long this right now. For me, it's very difficult to get opportunities on this because I need a tight window for entry, shallow, tight stops, good reward to risk, and really high probability setups. So to be specific, my family being comfortable means they can do things they really want to do and work on their talents, not forced to work for the sake of working. Yeah, what do they want to do? I'm going to go on, what do they want to do? Whatever they want to do? That's not specific. This is the thing. I ask people what they want. And they say, "Oh, I'd love to have a Ferrari." That's my thing. And I say, "Well, what colour's a Ferrari?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know, red." "What's the interior like?" "Oh, I don't really know. I haven't thought about it in that much detail." "What do the wheels look like?" "Oh, I don't really know." Well, if you haven't gone into that much detail, you don't really want it. If you don't have a specific target, you can't manifest it. You can't get towards it. You just it's like saying, "I want to lose weight." "How much weight do you want to lose?" "Oh, I don't know, some. I just want to feel better about my body." "Well, how much weight do you need to lose to feel better about your body?" "I don't know." That's how it works. The law of attraction isn't just praying for something to show up. It's the law of attraction is really focusing your energy and attention on something. And if you can get hyper detailed about what that is, the law of attraction is stronger. Right? A lot of people say to me, I say, "Why do you want to learn to trade? Why do you want to build wealth? Why do you want to become financially free?" "So I can spend more time with my family." "How much time?" You spend every minute with your family and end up killing them. It'll do your head in. Be true to yourself. Be true. You don't just want to spend more time with your... every minute? Every minute. Or, 2 to 3 hours a day. Or 7 hours a day. Because a lot of people set these goals it's just a saying, a throwaway comment. They haven't thought about it. And then what happens is, forbid that they actually start achieving it. What happens then, because they haven't been specific about it, they start hating it. And they go, oh God, I feel guilty now. I feel like I'm not normal. I feel bad because I feel like I should have more time with my family, but I don't want more time with my family. And then that has an effect. So be who you want to be. Be true to yourself. Don't fantasize. Don't infatuate. Don't, just be real. Real with everything. And it's okay to be real. Oh, he doesn't spend much time with his family. He might not want to. But I promise you, if you're doing what you want to do and you let other people do what they want to do, everyone's going to be happy. Because it all balances out. Everyone, if you're all in a position where you can do whatever you want, you will do whatever you want. And I guarantee you, you won't all be sat next to each other all day long. It's not real. It's not real. I had a podcast episode on this. I can't remember what it was called. It was like... I can't remember what it was called, but it was a good one. Okay. Duncan says 75% the way through the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. That is a great book. Yeah, that is a great book. I can't find my copy of Atomic Habits, but this is another good one. Power of Habit. Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, or Duhigg. I don't know how you pronounce his name. This is a great book. Another great book, whilst we're on book recommendations, is this. The Power of Self-Discipline, No Excuses by Brian Tracy. If you've read any of Brian Tracy books, you'll know, but this is a great book as well. All right, let's... Let's just read the last of these questions and then we'll fly through the rest of the pairs, guys, because I appreciate we've been going on and on. I work far from my family but live closer so I can get out during the day, come back in the evening. You can easily buy the new Tesla. Yeah, I just don't want a car. I don't want an unnecessary expense. That if I bought a Tesla, it'd sit on my drive for, well, every day, doing nothing. So why spend £600-700 a month on a car when you don't need to? You could just put that straight into investments. I learned to journal from golf. It took me from hacker to single figures. Amazing. You once recommended Principles. It is really great. Yeah, I've got 2 copies of Principles. I keep one right here, which is full of notes and all of my scribblings. And I keep one up on the top shelf, which is kind of the good copy. But that is a book that I study. That's not a book that I just read. Like, I've read that probably 7 or 8 times, but I study chapters of it and really ponder on what it means. we've seen a massive pullback on, we're breaking close below on the pound yen. This is one of the juicy ones as well. Okay, so look, pound yen broken close below a major support level. Trading time frame. Whoops. Sorry, I was looking at the 15-minute time frame. Major lower time frame, you could be looking to short this right now. 60-minute time frame, we've broken close below, but we've not. There's not really a setup here. It's not a trend continuation. We've actually just in a rotation here. But from a day trading perspective, it's quite a juicy setup because look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breaking close below with a big bearish candle again to ensure that we close below. Pull back up. We've hit that like a wall. This would be in my trading day, in my day trading days, where I'd look on the 5-minute or the range bars to get an entry into a short position here. And that is a beautiful setup. Structure swap there. Perfect example of a supply and demand zone. 153.60. Note that number down. Put it on your alerts or whatever it might be. And every time it crosses that level, pay attention to what happens. Take care, Rain. Ryan says, Atomic Habits combined with the accountability spreadsheet here on the platform has done amazing things for me in the past 3 months. That's incredible. Good to hear. Ray Dalio is a goat. I know. I wish he was my dad. I'd love to get him on the podcast, honestly. In fact, if we synchronize, who'd be up for this? We synchronize a mass kind of spam post to his profile to get on the Always Free podcast or the show. If we can synchronize that up and get, 100 to 1,000 people say that in 1 minute, I reckon we could get him. But I definitely need your help for that one. Because I don't think he checks social media much, and I think we'd need to get his team to really take notice. So if you guys would be up for that, let me know, and we will put together a proper petition thing where we organise and sync the posting. I would be so up for that. Yeah, he's like one of the top 3 people that I'd love to have on the podcast. That's alive still. Seeing some bearish movement here. Count me in. Yeah, I'll sign up. Excellent. I'll let you know. I'll have to add that to the list. Something I've considered before just to see if it works. How would you trade on the daily time frame if you couldn't get to the charts in the day? At night. So the daily, where do you live, Dan? Here in the UK, the crossover between the market open and close is at 10 p.m. And there's about a 15-minute window as to where the market's closed temporarily. But that 15-minute window between 10 p.m. and 1 minute past 10 is when the markets change over. So my daily chore setup, for instance, is purely on the daily time frame, and I'll look at that setup just before I go to bed. In fact, I've actually got I look at it before I go to bed. I've got an ATM strategy that works that setup now for me, so I can go to bed earlier. But at night, you only have to worry about the night. When the candle's in play, you don't care. Mohammed says, I'm in. Excellent. Let's do it. Let's do it for all of you guys. And then what we'll do is we'll run a big petition of getting him on the podcast. And then we'll ask you guys what questions you would love to ask Ray Dalio. And then we'll ask all of those questions during the interview. Let's do that. And I'll read out who the question's from as well. Let's definitely do that. 9 p.m. for the next 2 weeks. Yep, good point. 9 p.m. for the next 2 weeks. Well, Just under 2 weeks, I think now. How do you set pound yen 5-minute price alert? I won't be trading off of the 5-minute time frame, but if you want to set a price alert on TradingView, you just literally hit add alert. There you go. Just add the alert on the chart. I don't really have much to say about dollar yen. We need to let dollar yen, we need to let the dust settle on dollar yen. All right. So we just need a pullback. This would be an interesting place to get involved. Other than that, look how we're moving. I call this dribble. Dribbling effect. No way of trading this whatsoever. Nowhere for stops. Nowhere for, there's no structure. It's just horrendous. So if we can get a pullback to this level, great. If not, nothing. Very quickly skip past the dollar yen. And New Zealand dollar is very choppy as well. So dollar yen, New Zealand dollar haven't really provided the goods for me for the last month, last few weeks. As you can see, it's very, very choppy. There might be a pattern trade in here for some of you guys. Let me know. Those of you who are watching this stream, do you find this, valuable? Do you find this kind of delivery valuable? Let me know what you would like to see more of or less of, or do you like it just the way it is? What does a normal day look like for you trading routine? I'll do a video on that actually. But yeah, I get up in the morning. Okay, first thing I do is I drink a ton of water, put the kettle on or hit the coffee machine. Then I'll check my charts. If there were any setups that I was waiting for playing out, or if I'm in any setups overnight, I'll check the charts first, literally 5 minutes. And then I'll just sit there for about 25 minutes, just visualizing the day. Quiet, silence, no tech, nothing. Just drink my coffee, think about the day, how I want it to go. Kind of a visualization technique. Then I'll do my trading prep, so pre-market analysis, which takes me probably about 15 minutes max. And then I will, have another coffee and then start my trading. Trade for a couple of hours, and then I do my post-market, my journaling, and then I'm done. I just check every 2 hours for any setups that might be playing out intraday, or any plays that I'm in. Check roughly every 2 hours to 2.5 hours. And then my post-market at night, as I'm doing my daily time frame setups, which takes me about, again, 15 minutes, no more. The actual market analysis, the setup analysis of my day trading takes, probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And my post-market analysis takes me about 10, 15 minutes. Just going through what happened, what didn't happen. And that time has reduced over the lifespan of my trading. There used to be a lot of that I gained from discretion. Nowadays, I'm pretty spot on. There's not a lot that I need to adapt or build into my discretion for the systems that I trade. So that's reduced over time. And then other than that, I'm working on, other business ideas and building wealth, investing, analyzing the stock market. So I got a question the other day. There's one particular member of my community who, I don't know if he gets a little bit frustrated sometimes, but he's kind of, why can't you just tell us everything that you do? And the thing is this, I'm always learning and implementing new strategies because my values and my life is dedicated to building wealth and growing wealth and building a legacy, right? If you want to check out some hot girls and boys, you can go to that webcamschat.com. Thank you for spamming our discussion, but we won't be taking you up on that. Block user from YouTube. There you go. Agree with Golfer Dan. Cool. So because I'm always learning and always working on that, and that's what I'm always doing that, then I'm always going to have different tools and different strategies and, enhancing my edge and building tools and building systems. Because that's what I wake up every day. I'm not just stopping. So whenever I teach something, like my Tears of Freedom program, for instance, you'll be learning a snapshot of what I do at that time. Make sense? And then, like tomorrow night, we've got our huddle meeting in the Tears of Freedom where I'm going to be sharing some other new tools and strategies that I've found to be very effective, and I'm going to be sharing those with you. So you have to understand that when you're dedicated to something, you don't stop. It's like continuous journey. That's why I say trading's a forever journey, forever journey. Take care, Push. Isn't the spreadsheet the journaling? Yeah. 100% checking that out that webcam. I would be very mindful of your antivirus protection. All right, look, so we're going to come to a close now. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you've got any questions, let me know. We're going to come back tomorrow. I'll be inside Tier 1 platform tomorrow only, doing this again. Hopefully get involved with some of these trades later today. I'll post those into the chat inside Tier 1. And, if you want to go into the New York session, Akil's going to do the same thing in the New York Open, so we can go in there and carry on from where we left off, and that's going to be at 12:30 UK time, which is in a few hours. So 10, 11, 12, 3 hours time. Or actually, because the clocks, I think it's 2 hours time. But yeah, until then, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.